This is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments, and I am bringing you a project recipe for the collection that came out in January this past year, 2022, called Welcome Home. If you're not familiar with this collection, let me just give you a quick overview. This has lots of neutral, natural tones. This is the designer pack that you're looking at right here, and it comes with quite a few really nice additions to it. It comes with a matte pack, which has lots of really cute things added to it. It comes with a laser cut border pack, which has some really beautiful and intricately cut borders, which are fantastic time savers, and they really add a lot of impact to your page, and they're just beautiful additions. You can layer these and make them into just really nice embellishments to your page. It comes with stickers. The sticker pack actually has 2 sheets of border stickers, these long 12-inch border stickers, and then 1 sheet of the saying stickers like this. And the embellishment pack comes with quite a few really nice embellishments. Some of them have words, some of them are just pictures, some of them have this silver metallic added to them, which makes them really nice. If you're a bird watcher, there's several bird related things, gardener, tools. There's a cool tool like saw in here. If you have someone in your family who enjoys woodworking, I thought, oh, that's perfect. Oh, here we go, hammer and saw. Super cute. Anyway, really nice collection for around the house type of activities or garden type of activities. And so anyway, we're going to go ahead and do the project recipe for Welcome Home today. Welcome Home also uses the Honeycomb Border Maker Cartridge for our Border Maker system. This did sell out the first time that it came out. Part of the reason was because our National Scrapbook Day for earlier this year, you may recall, centered around honeybees. And so having this really cool Honeycomb Border Maker Cartridge made everybody want it. But I believe that it either is back in stock or it will be back in stock this month sometime. So if you don't have it, if you weren't one of the fortunate ones to get it the first time around, be sure that you look into that, and because it is a really cool, fun cartridge, and we are going to use it today with this project recipe. We are going to use, as you can see, the punch is going to be cut and go different directions. And over here for this long one, we're possibly going to use a laser border for that. So I don't know, we'll wait and see what we like when we get there. But these are the papers that I have chosen. We have a hot fudge piece of cardstock. I have these 2 green fern looking pages. These are going to be our base pages. Then I'm going to use the blue, this blue kind of striped designer page for one of our designs, and this really cute flowered kind of country flower paper for our other designer page. So if you are ready to go and have all your ducks in a row, as it were, let's go ahead and get started. I'm just going to move a few of these tools out of the way real quick, and then we're going to grab my trimmer. So grab your 12-inch trimmer, and we are going to start with this paper right here, the flowers, and we are going to, actually we're going to punch first. I'm sorry, here I had you grab your trimmer. We're going to punch first, and we're going to just punch two rows of our honeycomb border. And this paper is not doesn't have a directionality to it, so it really doesn't matter which way I put it in, it's going to punch the same. So depending on what paper you're choosing to use, you'll want to make sure that you have it put into your Border Maker system correctly. But we're going to just go ahead and punch 2 rows of this cute honeycomb. And you want to be careful whenever you're using your Border Maker. This is a great system. It's very convenient. You can do a lot of different designs with it, which is awesome. But if you go too quickly, things can sometimes get caught up in it, and sometimes your paper can tear. So you just want to, be careful and make sure that as you move it along, it's locking into place each time before you push down, so that your design is continuous and you don't end up with, a little bit of a hiccup because the punch wasn't quite where it needed to be, and then you end up with an edge that you're not happy with. So there are my 2 punches of this particular paper, and then we're gonna punch, we're gonna go ahead and punch one of the blue paper, even though I'm not sure we're gonna use it, just because we might use it, I don't know. But I think I'm gonna use some laser borders instead, just for some variety. So just to see what it looks like, I'm gonna go ahead and punch one. Then you can see if it's something that you wanna use or if you'd rather use a laser border. I feel like a tool is a great thing to have in your arsenal because you can use it and create and recreate and create some more, so you really get your money's worth out of it. But if you are looking for speed, and sometimes if you just want a really nice intricate design, then going with a laser border is faster, easier. You get some great impact with the laser border, the beautiful laser borders that we have. So, all right, now we're going to grab our trimmer and we're going to cut just a couple of things. Let me grab these little pieces and get those out of the way. We'll move these just over to the side for a second. Okay, now grabbing our flower paper again, we are going to cut a strip that is 2.5 inches. So we're going to just measure this at 2.5 up here. Follow your line all the way down. It'll make sure your paper is straight. Okay, so there's our 2.5. Then we need a 4-inch piece. So 4 inches. And we're going to turn this one and we're going to cut it at 6. So I'm going to move my arm out and cut that at 6 for a couple of mats. And this piece should be 3 1/4. So I'm just making sure, and it's a little more than 3 1/4. So I'm just going to trim it just to make sure that it is falling in line with what we need. Just a tiny bit off the edge there. Okay, so 3 1/4 and 2. Now we're going to go ahead and grab this blue page again, and we're going to actually, you know what, I just realized I was supposed to punch this blue border twice. But you know what, let's just go ahead and keep going with what we're doing here, and we'll worry about that later if we decide we want that extra border. Put it there. So this is cut at 6 inches, making some more mats. So 6 inches, and we're going to turn this and we're going to cut it 3 times at 4 inches to make 3 mats. 1. This is up 4 inches again, 2 and 3. All right, and I'm going to set those right up there with my other mats. And then I need 1 square that is 2.5 by 2.5. So we're just going to go ahead and cut a 2.5 inch strip and turn this and cut it at 2.5 for our 1 2.5 inch square. All right, now this is extra and this is extra, but keep it close by in case we need to punch another one of these. All right, so I'm just gonna set that up here in case we need it. Move that one over there so I know I'm done. Then I'm gonna grab my hot fudge cardstock. And with the hot fudge cardstock, we are going to cut two 12-inch strips at 2 3/4. So lining it up over here at the 2 3/4 mark at the top, and then keeping the top edge flush to the shoulder, 2 3/4. Then we're doing another one at 2 3/4. Then we're going to set the rest of this hot fudge cardstock aside. We're going to stack these two, and yes, we're going to stack these two, and we're going to then cut some squares at 2 3/4 inches. I'm just double checking to make sure I'm not leading anybody astray. Yep, 2 3/4 inches. I'm just bringing that back into alignment. So there's 2 squares. And 2 more squares. That makes 6. And we need a total of 8. So we're going to line those up. Those 8. These 2 pieces you can either save for another project or toss, up to you. And then we're going to just stack those 8 squares and set them aside for a second. Okay, now what we are going to do is set our trimmer aside, but not too far away, because we are going to use it in just a second. I want you to grab your punched strips and your removable adhesive, repositionable adhesive. Now we're going to, you need to decide which side of this paper you like best. I can either use this as my base and use this piece on top of it, like so, or this one goes in the middle, or I can flip it over essentially and use this piece as my base and these pieces flipped over in the middle. I like it the other way. I can tell you that right now. It's because this piece is just too busy for the base. I want this as my base, and then I want these as my outer pieces, and this darker piece is going to go in the center. All right, now we're going to go ahead and just do this whole piece, and then we're going to cut this piece into 2.5 inch sections. So bear with me here. We're going to flip this over. You're going to want to have a reasonable amount of repositionable adhesive down on this because of the fact that we're going to cut it. So don't be super stingy with your adhesive on this particular section. I'm not one for wasting it, but you will be glad that you don't have just a ton of little tiny pieces to go back and glue down. If you just go ahead and put them down now. All right. So I'm adhering the outer edge of the paper as much as possible. And I'm putting it right up to the edge. both the end and the outer edge. So this punch has a flattened octagon, it's 6 sides shape, and that goes right nicely right along the outside edge. And then this one will go just in the middle. It is going to overlap just a tiny little bit. Just try and make sure it overlaps evenly on both sides, okay? So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Try and get our adhesive on the outside edge of nearly all of the punched piece. Just a little bit tricky in that you need to be able to see well enough that you can get the edges where they need to be. Sometimes that's tricky for me because I wear glasses all the time. I have worn glasses all the time since I was 23. So it's just my lot in life. I've come to accept that there are some things that I just have more trouble seeing. All right, so now we're going to take our strip and we are going to cut squares. So this, remember, this was our 2.5 inch strip. We're going to cut 4 2.5 inch squares. You're going to have a little bit left over at the end. It's fine. You can either toss it or you can save it. It's up to you. But I am just going to go through here and cut 2.5 inch sections. And 2.5. Okay, so you have this little bit that's left, and we'll just set it over there. Okay, now what we're going to do is each of these is going to be mounted on some cardstock. So we need 4 pieces of our hot fudge cardstock, and we're going to grab our permanent adhesive, and we're going to mount each of these squares centered on one of our brown squares. And you'll notice that if you have it right in the center, you have a perfect frame all the way around the outside that's the same size, same width. It just frames it really nice. About 1/8 of an inch. Okay. Almost there. All right, there we go. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and take one of our 4-inch squares, and we're going to put just this blue piece, this extra 2.5 inch square that we cut, is going to go right here in the center of this brown square. And then we'll have 3 more for matting photos. All right, now we're going to grab our base pieces, and then we're going to assemble this. Okay, so we have our 2 green fern base pieces, And I'm gonna put them right next to each other. Here we go. Okay, so now we're going to take this piece, and you can either, you can choose which side you want to have down. I'm gonna make it so that it matches the base that I have down on these pieces, because these pieces are gonna be going up this left side. And I'm going to go ahead and place these so that they are kind of turned every other one. Give me just a second here. My nails are, just got my nails done, and so my fingers are a little sensitive. They are, my nails are just not able to pick stuff up. Okay, here we go. Now what we're going to do, as I was saying, is we're going to rotate these pieces so that they are not going the same direction each way. So you have 2 horizontal and 2 vertical pieces. And then they'll be about, I think about 1/4 of an inch from the edge is what is how we do that one. All right, then these pieces, these other squares, are going to go across this border down here. And you're gonna have one on this end, and then a blue, that one we put the blue on, and then the other 2. And you can put photos in these. They're meant for photos, photo mats. Or if you want to put embellishments in these, you can certainly do that. It's completely up to you and depends on what you want to use your page for. But in the example, they do use this one for embellishments, and then they have photos in these other 3. So it is up to you how you want to do it. Then they have 1 mat here, and then 2 mats up here, which with my directional paper, it's a little bit odd, but once you have a photo on there, it will not matter one whit. And then we've got these 2 above and centered with this one, or you could move this one down just a skosh and add a little bit of variance to the height of these, which actually probably works better if we do it this way, because then we can have a little bit of room to put an embellishment right in here. So something like that. All right, and then we will put our embellishments right here, and, or I beg your pardon, right here, and right here. So we've got our 2 layers like that. Now you'll recall that I did mention that there was another punched strip that was going to go on this page, and it was going to go right across the top of here. However, I thought it would be fun to just go ahead and use some of our laser embellishments, and I pulled out a couple that I thought would be really cute, and I'm gonna see which one I like better. So I thought these 2 would be really cute together, layered on top of each other, and maybe across the top there, just like so. Or maybe even these 2 would be cute, layered on top of each other. Let's see, I kind of like this because of the brown that's in it, and it really pulls out the brown that we have in our mat, whereas this one pulls out more of just kind of the neutral and the blue. I really do think I like the brown better. We could put the brown on top of this neutral. Let's see what that would look like. Well, that's kind of cool too. Or we could do like 3 of them. You know what? I think I like that best. So I think maybe we'll do that, and then we will go ahead and add some embellishments. So let me go ahead and get these put down first. So there's that. Then we're going to add this guy. And I am only leaving about 1/8 of an inch from the end of my page, the edge of my page. So I'm centering it on the top and the bottom and leaving about 1/8 of an inch on the end. Then we're going to have 1/8 of an inch between each of these. Okay. Then we're going to use our repositionable adhesive on these. So we're going to place this adhesive on the back. You'll notice this has a blue side and a green and a brown side, but I'm going with the brown side because I want to accentuate or accent the brown that we have on the page. And the blue would have just been, I think, too much blue. So we're going with some blue flowers instead of the blue woodwork. Okay, so there's that. And you see how this is blue on the back also. There's just lots of variation in how they give you 2 different options on either side. I just love that. It's really a nice thing to be able to have an option with the same design. Okay, so there's those. And then I'm going to go ahead and put these down. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put these down with repositionable adhesive just on the off chance that my pictures are going another direction, because I'm going to be using these pages for photos of my garden, and I don't have them printed just yet. So I'm going to just make sure that my borders are the same, and I'm putting it down just with a little bit of repositionable adhesive in the middle so that it is secured and I won't lose those mats while I'm working on getting the rest of my pictures printed. Okay, so we're gonna just these are gonna go down a little bit closer to the edge because you notice that that's possible. So we're gonna go ahead and put them, it's roughly a 1/4 of an inch around the corner. Maybe slightly less than a 1/4 of an inch. Love my all-purpose tool. It comes in so handy with my fingernails. All right, there we go. So those are adhered down. Then we're going to use our repositionable on these as well. I'm going to use my repositionable so that I cannot have to stress if I need to change the directionality of these photos. So this is going to go approximately 1/4 of an inch so that the boundary or the border around the top and the bottom of it is the same. This one's going to go 1/4 of an inch from the center, and approximately 1/4 of an inch from where the bottom photo is going to go. This one's just going to get centered between this edge and the edge of my border over here. All right, now we're going to make some, we're going to put together some embellishments. These were part of the embellishment pack, and I thought they were really cute together since these are pictures of my garden. So these are some shears and a shovel and some ivy, and then this sign that obviously says our garden. So we're gonna add some repositionable adhesive to this lattice work and put this right on top of this blue polka dot wall. And then here again, I am using my repositionable adhesive, but that's because I don't yet know whether I'm using vertical photos or horizontal photos on this page. So if I have an option, it'll be nice to be able to move these if I should need to. And I hope to have those photos soon, so I'm not worried about going ahead and putting these down now. Taking the little tabs off the back of my foam squares, I'm just gonna kind of add this about halfway and a little bit sticking off our garden. And let me get the smaller foam squares because these shears are kind of narrow. All right, these guys. Oop. Hopefully you have a garden that you've been growing all summer long. We have had water restrictions where I live here in Utah, but we have hand watered our vegetable garden in the back so that we can still have some fresh vegetables. So our grass is brown and crispy, but our garden has been yielding some wonderful vegetables. So that's really fun and good. All right, and then I'm gonna just make a cluster for down here in this square. And I just pulled out a few of the small embellishments from these. This is from the embellishment pack, and I'm gonna just sort of arrange them using my repositionable adhesive so I can move stuff if I want. We're gonna just put these cute little bottles in there. And then this cute little lantern behind it for some height. Okay. And then that's going to go right in there. Pop that up with some foam squares. And when you're using foam squares and you know it's going to overlap your photo, you have to be really careful. You can do a couple things. Let me show you. You can put your foam square on your embellishment and then leave the sticky tab on there. So for instance, because this is going to overlap this photo over here, but I still want to be able to put that photo in there. So I'm just not going to remove that sticky tab, and it will keep my embellishment popped up and looking like it is supposed to, but I'll still be able to put my photo underneath there when I'm ready to do so. So I'm just going to go ahead and add this cute little cluster right in here. And then, for instance, if this was my photo, I can slide that right underneath there and adhere it in place, and it won't cause any issues. All right, so there's that. And then I have one other one that I was going to do. And this one's really simple. I just need the stickers that I had, these stickers, and we're going to use Home is Not a Place, It's a Feeling, and use these cute little ivy corners to kind of surround it. Like so. Home is not a place, it's a feeling. Boy, that's something we had to learn in the military as my husband moved around and we followed him from place to place. My kids, at one point, one of them said, "We don't have a home," or "We don't know where we're from." And I said, "You know what? You are from the best place ever, because you have grown up in the world with your family. And our home goes with us no matter where we live. Our home is there." It's a trick. Military spouses, we have to stick together. Of course, my husband's retired now, but I still feel that kinship even when I run into other active duty or military or retired military spouses. We know, we remember. All right, home is not a place, it's a feeling. There we go. And this one is done. So I hope that you will enjoy doing this project recipe in your book. I hope you have a garden or something beautiful in your home that you can feature on these beautiful papers, because they really are just gorgeous and so fun to put together. They all blend so well in this collection. Thanks so much for joining me, and I hope you have many more creative moments. You have a great day.